Hello, everybody. So I am back. I am back from St. Louis and came back and I was whooped and worn out. So I had to take another week to recover and our schedules weren't aligning. But today we're going to get this video done and we're very excited. So it feels like, I don't know, so many weeks now it's been a
Gosh,
month.
yeah, we used to be doing them every week, and now it's like, what's your schedule like? I don't know. I can't. Nope.
I know.
Yeah, it's catching each other has been so tricky lately, but definitely we do enjoy our time when we do get to meet up and
Absolutely.
make it work. So
So
very
my
cool.
trip is out the way from St. Louis, doing the Secret Space Conference, which was pretty cool. Met quite a few people. And on top of that, my trade show for my job is done and all these little price changes are done. So I feel like now I can breathe again. I have time to do things, And sent Tracie a message, said, hey, let's get a video out the way. And she said, sure, let's do it Wednesday. And I'm like, let's roll with it. So Tracie, you have
Going
some
for it.
announcements, some workshops coming up?
I do. I have some really fun things coming up, you guys. The first one that I have coming up is May 29th. That one is online. It's another journey with Daniel. It's called the Re-Emergence. It's like the Phoenix rising from the ashes. We've been through so much transformation with all these energy shifts and intense energies coming in that the Re-Emergence, I guess, is the next logical thing to do with Daniel. And so that's going to be a 90-minute online Sunday, May 29th, 3 p.m. I believe that's a Sunday. And anyways, all that information is on my website under the online workshops. The next one that's coming up, and I don't have all the information yet for it, but again, keep tabs on the YouTube page and on my website. I'll have the information there. And that's going to be a sound healing and journey with Daniel. That's going to be in person in Washington State, and it is going to be a donation base. It's going to be from 10 to 2 on June 26th. And then the next thing that I have is going to be a channeling and light language workshop. That's going to be in person in Salem, Oregon in July. I'm going to pop over and look at my July dates. So I don't, with all the dates I'm throwing at you guys, I'm going to mess it up. We are in a Mercury retrograde. So that's going to be July 22nd, 23rd, 24th. 3 days. So here's the fun thing. I just got a camp trailer for myself, and there is a campground, an RV park right next to the healing
No
center
way.
that I'm holding this out. So I'm going to be at the campgrounds with my trailer. And so anyone that's local that has a trailer or loves to camp, there's a couple of yurts there. I don't know if they're rented yet. There's spots for tent camping, and there's lots of RV parking spots. So I'm going to be there with my trailer. I'm so excited about that. But there is information about if you are coming from out of town, there's information on my website for lodging and for the campgrounds. So that's all on my website if you're interested.
That's pretty cool. So the June 26th event, that's going to be in person. In person only.
In person. Let me see if I have. So that one's going to be a sound healing. James McGinley is going to be doing the sound healing, and he's going to, his family owns an Airbnb, and it's going to be held there. And it's a farm, and they have a nice little barn out there. When we get the pictures and we get all the stuff together, I'll be posting that stuff, but it's going to be held in the barn. So we're going to do the sound healing and journey work in the barn. And we're going to have, if you want a chair, you can bring a chair to sit in, or there's going to be places to kind of, like, we're going to put down a carpet and stuff for people to sit on the ground or lay on the ground and take in the sound healing and stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. And the only downside to that one is that there is a limited amount of spots. So we do, instead of just saying everyone show up, we gotta have you reserve your spot so that we know who's coming and that we have enough room for everyone. So that's the only downfall to that one. I think there's room for, I don't remember if he told me 20 or 30 people. So to be on the safe side, 20 people. And but that'll be a good time. That'll be a neat experience to go out in the country and be among the trees and out in the farmlands of Washington and do a little barn healing. So it'll be good.
Ah, that's cool. So
Yeah.
this location can house 20 people, or is this like different little buildings, like little houses or something?
No, not the sound healing. That's just a one-day event.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that's a one-day event. It's going to be, I think he was saying that the average, James is looking up all kinds of fun things. He says the average temperature for June 26th in Washington is 75 degrees. So we're expecting somewhere between 75, 80 degrees for that temperature. He thinks about 20 people will fit comfortably in the space he's thinking of, where we can lay things out and people can lay out and listen to the sound healing and do that. So I'm kind of just a guest to go and partake in this as well. And he's got a lot of plans going on. It sounds really exciting. So it's going to be fun. It'll be nice to participate in that with him.
When you mentioned farm, I thought of tractors and, people driving around with tractors and haystacks.
Yeah. And I feel bad because I used to have the website pulled up here, and I think
Yes, okay. I see it.
So it's not in the house. It's going to be in the barn. And see, it's not a real big barn. So, but it's such a beautiful area. You're surrounded by trees, by countryside. We're just gonna have a good time there. And so
it looks beautiful.
You guys. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Very beautiful place.
So very fun. Anyways, hopefully.
Glamping. I saw the word glamping.
Yeah. So James, I hope I got it right this time. I know that I kind of butchered it on the emailer I sent out. The information will be when he gets it to me. He's working on some artwork for it and putting together a flyer. So when he gets that out to me, I'll put it on my social media and my website, so you guys will be able to find it.
Perfect. And just keep in mind, if you click on the description, look inside the description, I'll have a link to Tracie's website.
But now, oh my gosh, the cost of flying right now is astronomical. Although when you bought your tickets for that trip, maybe they weren't, but I bet you if you looked that trip up today, it would be probably 3 times what you paid.
I don't want to look.
Don't look.
Don't want to look.
Working on things around here because I haven't been able to travel. You guys have been watching me go here and there and everywhere and having so much fun just being anywhere that the wind will take me. And now I'm kind of feeling like my feet are kind of grounded right now. Yeah. A flight that, I'll put it this way, a flight that I did last year, same exact flight. I paid $148 round trip for that flight. Looked it up this year and it was $1,003.
Wow. So it went up from 100 to 1,000 pretty much. Well, it's a good thing you got that trip out the way.
Well, except for I wanted to go again.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to look it up.
That didn't work out.
Well,
So,
hopefully everything settles down and prices come back down to where it's more affordable.
It will, because we're right now, it's interesting because I can tell that I'm supposed to be here right now. And I'm actually okay with being here right now, whereas I was supposed to go. I think there's 3 things now that I didn't do because of the cost of flights. And it's like, okay, I'm supposed to be right here, holding the space here, holding the energy in this place. So it's all good. I'm not worried about it, but it'll come back down. Or my income will go way up. That's the other way it works, right? It's like, well, I can't afford to fly and the flights aren't coming down. So you guys are going to have to increase my income or something. But yeah, so that's the other way that kind of stuff works, is we just make more money.
Nice. Something, one of the two.
Yeah. So, and what do we do? Follow that up with, and the donation site for that is.
Oh, if you want to donate to this dream that I have.
If you want to donate to me getting out of the house.
Click on my PayPal link. And I do have to say, I'm pretty impressed that we've done a lot of videos and we haven't charged for anything, asked for anything like that. So I'm pretty impressed with how many videos we have done, and all this great content, and from the bottom of our hearts. So.
Oh yeah, this is information that it's fun to
labor of love.
It is. It really is. And you guys are amazing, by the way, as an audience. You have our back. You're supporting us. We got Chris who gets in there and does our time stamping.
Awesome, Chris.
and, you know, some really amazing followers that are always commenting and encouraging us and keeping us going. And I can't thank you guys enough. It really makes it all worthwhile when it all starts coming together like that.
Perfect. Let's everybody give a high five. High five.
Hey, here's a new thing that started happening. I was talking to you about that DNA workshop that I did. I got done with that and I started doing little scribble writing, like light language writing. And
Was that you doing that or someone else?
I was doing that. And I'm going to show you, pull up another little picture here to share with you guys. So I posted it on Facebook because I was like, and Instagram. And I was like, this is such an interesting thing that's happening. And sorry, what I'm doing right now is looking for my Ascension Activation group. If you guys want a home where you can come and talk about this stuff, go to the Ascension Activation community on Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing this because I'm not the only one this happened to. So did the DNA upgrade, cellular upgrade. I started doing these little scribbles, right? I've got other people that were in that activation that said, oh, I got off the call and started doing this and this. And so, and this. Anyways, so I started posting these because I just sit there and I do these little squiggles and it's the most therapeutic thing I think I've ever done. And I'm like, what is this? Well, the next transmission with Daniel said, go outside and look up, the sky is moving. So one of the listeners went outside and looked up. That's what she took a picture of.
Oh, some similarities between the two.
Yeah. She goes, it blew my mind because it made me think of that little squiggly writing that you were doing. And then I had another guy that was participating in the DNA thing. And he wrote me the other day and he said, I was listening to your video and you reminded us to listen 5 times to that DNA upgrade one. And he goes, I'm on like my 4th time listening. And I woke up this morning and my whole wall looked like that squiggle writing you're doing. And then all of a sudden it went back to being a wall. So there's something to all of this. It's
the Matrix.
A ride. It's the Matrix, you guys. We are messing with the Matrix. But anyways, that's been a new thing. And it's amazing how much I can look forward to just sitting down and doing that on a piece of paper.
That's pretty cool.
That's new since I've talked to Jason.
That's interesting. I'm glad you shared that. That's neat.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of it. I think you did it on Instagram, I think. And I saw it and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know if that was you or if that was someone else that did it, like one of your clients. So I was like, oh, okay.
A lot of, yeah.
That's you that's doing it.
And it's not just, yeah, I was doing it, but it was some of the other people listening were starting to write. Theirs didn't look like mine. They all had their own. They all had another version that they were doing. But I noticed that a lot of people, because I have a lot of people in my friend group on social media that do this kind of, follow this kind of thought wave, and maybe not part of that collective that was in that group, but they're doing it too. So something's being activated in us. You know, it is that cellular upgrade. To me, those are programs, or those are our, you know, if you think about a digital program coming in, making those little noises, that's kind of what it makes me think of, is they're all just, it's all part of the program, part of the matrix, as you say. So
now, if you don't mind me asking, I know it's therapeutic, it makes you feel better as well and some sense of calm, but is there another purpose for it? Is there another thing that's going on with those drawings?
Yeah, my feelings on it were, when I was doing them, one of them that I did, I just knew I was writing a program for change, to help a smooth change transfer into some new energy. Then the next one that I did, I felt like going in a circle while I was writing it. You can't tell looking at it that I did that I was doing it in a circle. They all look the same. And it's interesting because I can't fit them on Instagram. I do them right side up and then I have to switch them. I said, is that going to change it? And they said, no, this is the way it's interesting. So the second one that I was doing, I was asking for my home and family to be surrounded in love. And then I ended up doing it in circles. And I didn't think about that till afterwards, that I'm surrounding, circling. So yeah, they've been interesting. And I just share them. You know, it's kind of like when Dean was having the ascension maps made, and he said everyone that looks at them is getting something from them. And so, so I thought I'd share it. So there it is.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat. So you also maybe deals with some sort of activation as well, you know, like
I think it's activating
for the soul or something, or DNA. Like,
well, it
you wouldn't
started
think of it as light
after the
language, right?
DNA workshop. So I'm thinking it's part of the reprogramming of the DNA, the, you know, awakening of it or whatever, you know, who knows what it all is. There's so many layers to everything that we do.
That's your way of rewriting the matrix.
Rewriting the matrix. I don't know, my mind is not retaining as much as it used to. So it's intentional, I guess, that, you know, people will. I had a client today that it was the second time I've seen her, and she had to tell me. I was like, oh, we've done a session? Yeah, we did an ascension session. So you guys, if I don't remember you, please don't take offense to that. I think part of it is because I probably do see about 10 different clients a week. And that starts to add up after a while of all the different sessions and all the information that'll come in. It's not for me to keep, that's your information. And so it's almost like they just wipe the slate clean. And
yeah. Well, it reminds me of a couple of things when you mention that. So it reminds me of Suzanne. She posted a video, and one of the things that she posted was like the reason for the client to forget is for her to forget, you know, like to forget the bad things and move on. Forget the past and move on from the past, and not hold on to the past, to keep going forward. And I respond back and I'm like, you sold me. I was like, let's go.
Yep,
keep going forward.
Forget yesterday. We don't need it.
And I reached out to another practitioner to do a video collaboration with her, and she said, that's a great topic, that's a great story, but I wouldn't be the one you should interview. You should interview my clients. Kind of like what you're saying. Like, I don't retain the information, I let it go. And I was like, okay, I understand. It reminds me of that as well. There's a reason for it. You're not getting that old.
No, it's not about age. It's not about Alzheimer's or dementia. It's literally that it's not mine to remember. And we are changing so rapidly. Our minds are changing. The way we're thinking is changing every day. We might have a new belief system, let go of an old one. We're changing constantly. So it could be part of that as well, is that from last November to May, this person changed so much that the energy is completely different, and therefore I didn't recognize the energy as well as the person. You know, there's so many layers.
No awakening.
Yeah, it's amazing. We have been through 2022, in my mind, for me personally, has been just a peeling the layers, transformation after transformation, and just getting us in this place where it would be impossible to look at anything the same way we did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You know, it's seeing one of the things, and I don't know if we've talked since this, I know that I brought it up on the show with Julia, but one of the things that they're showing me is that we're all getting to a place where we're going to be able to view our timelines so we can pick the one we want, versus the idea of, okay, I have a choice to make. I wonder which one's going to be the right choice. Now we're all stepping into this ability to go, okay, I have a choice to make. What's this one do? Okay, what's this one do? Ooh, I like that one. I'm going that way. and we're going to be able to do that.
Right, right.
And we're going
Sounds
to
a little familiar.
yeah, we're going to be very aware of at least 2 of our timelines at a time, as if they both have actually happened. So I think we have talked about that, but it's getting more solidified, and I'm hearing more and more people going, I think I'm doing that. I think that's already happening for me. And so as people keep having the experiences, please let us know if you're having those experiences, because, you know, we get the information, but it's nice to get the confirmation that it's happening as well. So definitely exciting.
Comment below. That sounds familiar, because I think even in Dolores Cannon's book, she even mentioned something about that if you had a tough decision to make, you would be guided easier to the right direction that you need to take. So, like, it would be even kind of like known, like, oh yeah, I need to do this. I need to take my life in this direction. And this is the better path. Like, you already know, and you'll feel it. So I do remember that.
I think it's going to probably lead to less self-sacrificing. In other words, if I can see the outcomes of my timeline, I'm not going to sacrifice my joy for, you know, somebody else's fear of coming along or making a decision, or, you know, when we hold ourselves back to make somebody else comfortable. I think there will be less and less of that when we see the outcome of, oh, if I move forward, I get that. This is coming in, these doors are opening, and this person's going to be okay. I don't have to hold myself back for that person or situation or whatever it might be. I know that we have a couple of people listening, so I want to, that would fit into this. I want to make sure I delicately put it in there. I want to move, but my parents are aging, and so I'm afraid to move, because if I move, what if something happens? Or I'm, you know, I'm the caretaker and I want to do this, but how does that work? You know, there's where you're kind of feeling like you got to stay where you're at, but yet your heart's calling you to do something else. And when we get more evolved with this, when we ascend into this new way of viewing things and our attachments and our expectations with things, that's the other thing that's been going on a lot this year for me, is looking at the attachment. What's your expectation? What's your attachment? Are you using manipulation to get what you want? Is this coming from a place of love? Those kinds of things. And just having to get very real with, well, what am I doing here? How am I using manipulation to get this? Oh, I am. Not realizing that I'm doing it, but I am. I'm setting forward. And where I'm talking here, a lot of you guys, if you've been following me, you probably have already heard this story, but my son, I was trying to get him to call me one day, and I'm like, well, I need you to call me. I'm not going to call you today, Mom. Well, I really want you to call me. And then I would use something else. I need to talk to you about the phone. I need to talk to you about your car. I need to talk to you about, so I'm using manipulation to get him to get what I want, right? And so I had to look at that. I mean, it was a simple thing, but it was also, it was a manipulating thing. I was trying to manipulate him to pick up the phone and call me. And if you're listening, you need to call your mother. Okay, so anyway, call me. Anyways, that's kind of a hard thing to swallow, a hard pill to swallow when you're being told, well, you're being manipulating.
Was it this pill?
The red pill. Well, that's what you were showing me earlier, that it was the red pill. I was sitting there going, oh, cool pyramid. You can't take me out anymore. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, there's just a lot of truth coming up, and we all have to evaluate our own actions in this. You know, it's like, where am I behaving in a way that can change to create more of that outcome I desire? I want to be in a world without fear. How do I get to that place? Well, I got to quit using fear, you know, with my loved ones, like manipulation to get you to call me is a fear-based energy. So, you know, those are some things that we all can look at our lives and go, oh, where am I doing that? Where am I not trusting it's going to work out okay? Where am I trying to control it? So that was another thing. I was trying to control it. So I was being called out on it too. It was awesome.
Huh. Interesting.
I can say that now. In the moment, I wasn't thinking that was very awesome, but you guys know me. I'm going to use myself as an example. If I have something to share, I'll share it. So I experience life just like everyone else. So there it is.
This is true.
Yeah. Yeah, things happen here too. And that sometimes they're very 3D things.
Yeah, I was going to call it 3D problems.
Yeah, those are 3D problems. And why do they show up? To show me where I'm at with my progress. Now, I was much better at recognizing it. And then I did the right thing, or at least what I hope was the right thing. I sent him a message and apologized. I said, I see what I did and I'm sorry, and wrote it out. Because I think that's an important piece also, is to acknowledge that I did that. And
Perfect.
yeah. So, if you know somewhere where you're doing that, you guys own it. It's the most powerful thing. It's so healing when you go, oh, I did do that. You're right. I did do that. I'm sorry. And I don't know about you, Jason, but when somebody is genuinely sorry and recognizes what they did, we're good. I'm good. But it's when they're, no, I didn't do that. It wasn't me. I'm not going to apologize for that. Can we just pretend that didn't happen and keep going?
Right.
That sits with me a little bit longer. It's a little bit harder to move past that. But if you come forward and just say sorry, and it's golden with me.
So it's almost like when someone does it the other way and they don't admit to their wrongs, I guess, is there any life lessons that needed to be learned with that?
They'll probably get to repeat the pattern a few times till they get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not mine to judge, but they're whatever lesson they set up for themselves to learn, if they didn't learn it, I imagine they're going to set it up to do it again. Right. Until they get it.
Now, do you think you have to learn anything?
Absolutely. Every day. Remember, my entire reality is something I created. So if there's something there I don't like or don't want, I have to look at that and learn from it. And so, yeah, there's so much going on. It's always
interesting.
Yeah.
Tracie's like, yes, every day.
Yeah. Ask my friends who I burned their ears off with, blah, 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 blah. This happened today. What am I supposed to be looking at? So why do I feel this way? Yeah, I mean, we're all in it. I'm just doing my best to recognize where I gotta step up and what I gotta change for me. So
yep.
Yeah. What about you, Jason?
Well, before there's always life lessons, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So, but I guess every day there's something to be learned from everything, if you think about it. So for me, life lessons, I mean, I probably don't look into a lot of things until it's already done and passed. And then I'll think about it when it's already done and over with. And I think about it and I was like, oh, listen to like your conversations and others people's conversations, kind of like, maybe there was something for me to learn from that, But then by that time, a year or two went by, and I'm like, oh, okay, Yeah. So, but it does make me wonder, when certain things do happen, and then how do I deal with it? But for the most part, even at work, a lot of people say I deal with a lot of situations a lot better than what other people would deal with it. They're like, how do you do it? I said, it's just not the end of the world. There's going to be another day. It's going to be another day, and it's going to be another problem. So you just need to be ready for that one as well. And you're like, oh, yeah, I can't do it. So I don't know. I just don't let it get to me as much, but I do find it interesting. Like even when something was to happen, like let's say if it was to make me run late, and it's like, because I ran late, I didn't get involved with this, and this, this accident didn't happen. This didn't happen. There was a reason why I was running late. So that made me question things like that as well.
Yeah. And sometimes I think we get to know what that thing is. And sometimes I think us being late avoided the entire thing. So we'll never know what we might have been in if we were on time. But I've gone by accidents that just happened. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if I would have been earlier, I might have been in that.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we actually get to see it. Like we get demonstration that something would have happened. How many people were glad they went late to work on 9/11, right? You know, there was a lot of people that were in that building that
A lot of
should have been.
stories.
And all their stories about running late and this and that. So
True.
yeah, lots of
Made me
things.
appreciate things more, you could say. Was there any other announcements that you had?
I don't think so. I think we're ready. We're ready to get Daniel in here, see what he has to say to everybody.
Okay, I just have two small things to go over. So the first thing I want to talk about, I know I held up the little red and blue pyramid, but this I got from the Secret Space Conference. So Yuvonda made these, and she was selling them at her booth, and we did a little bit of a video collaboration and everything, because I thought all the stuff was so cool, and she was so sweet and so nice. And I saw this one, and I said, "What is this all about?" Like, I said, "I see a red pill. Is there a hidden meaning or something?" I kind of knew what it was, but she told me what it meant and everything. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And we did a video. And at the end of the video, she gave me this for free. So I was like, "Oh," I said, "I'll do a shout out for you on my YouTube channel." And I'll leave a link down below in the description. She's also a Reiki master.
Oh my God, she's got a baby Yoda in one of those. I love baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Okay,
so
I'm sharing this, you guys.
She has
you gotta see
shop.
baby Yoda. Right? Look at that. Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah. So
look at baby Yoda.
There you go.
So she has an Etsy shop.
I'm in a friend request her, so let's find out if she accepts my friend request by the end of this show. All right.
Perfect. She did not have the Yoda one. So she had some
oh my gosh,
pyramids like this, but I think the Yoda one would have just flew off the shelf.
Oh, you would, yeah, probably did fly off the shelf, and that's why she didn't have it. Oh my goodness, those are adorable. I would buy those for everyone for Christmas.
Perfecto. Love it when a plan comes together. And second announcement would be that I know I received an email and a comment on one of the YouTube channels, and they were asking me about the book because I did an interview with Sarah and everything. I talked about my little Guardians of Magic book, and I told them that they can buy it on Amazon, but they have a hard time finding it. So evidently, when I created this book, Guardians of Magic was not that popular. They only had one book. Yeah, this one's mine.
Oh, okay.
They only had
how did I not know you did that book? When did you release that?
Years ago, a couple of years ago. But you knew about it. You said something about it.
Maybe I did.
That memory already got wiped.
You guys are witnessing it in action right now. Okay.
That's going into bloopers. Oh, man. You said something about it. You said, where can they, you even asked, like, where could they find the book? I don't know. Maybe you thought someone else wrote it or something.
Oh, possibly. Maybe I didn't realize you were the author of the book.
Yeah. So I'm the creator of Guardians of Magic. And this is kind of like what got me into QHHT, exploring Dolores Cannon, because I was a big fan of Edgar Casey and the Crystal Skulls. And then I started creating my little sci-fi story. So if you wanted to find this book on Amazon, the best thing I recommend is typing in Guardians of Magic and then typing in my name, Jason Ballet, either my last name, anything like that. Well, have this book pop up, because I went back to Amazon years later now, and now there's multiple books that say Guardians of Magic. So it's like, like, where did all these books come from? You know? And evidently it's a popular title, and another author is coming out with her different series. So yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought there is a link directly. No, to use the same name as a book that's already been published, or they just make it very similar.
What it is like they have a main title. And then they say, like, one of their series is like Guardians of Magic for this world that is created for them. And then that's part of their series. So there's like 4 or 5 books just for her little, for her series.
Gotcha.
So just FYI, if you're looking for this book, when you're on Amazon, you type in Guardians of Magic and type in my last name, and this book will come up. And this is kind of like my sci-fi action version of all the cool things that, you know, comes through sessions, Akashic Records, QHHT and stuff. Yeah.
So that's Ballay, just in case you don't have that information in front of you.
Yeah, it should be right there.
Right there. Yeah, it's right there.
And the third thing is I did create some videos from the Secret Space Conference. I will have those up soon, maybe in a couple of weeks, but I have to do a lot of editing and compiling and clipping and everything. So not to give away too much of the video conference, but it was pretty cool. And I do have some interesting clips, and I have permission to share it and create this video. So it was very nice. Thank you, Aaron and Tyler, for the event. It was an amazing job, amazing people, and so on. You did a great job with it.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah. That's it for me.
That's it.
That's it.
Let's go get Daniel, find out what he's got for everybody today.
Perfect. Let's go get Daniel.
We want everyone to start listening, hear the sounds. And it's quite a journey that you are on, and it's quite an advanced journey that you are on. And one of the things that is fun to do is just listen to the nature around you, listen to the sounds around you, and find a way to merge that sound with your experiences to create something very magical with it. In other words, Tracie was driving her pickup down the road the other day, and she wanted to play her Pandora music, and she pushed Pandora and she forgot that she set it to Enya. And so here comes the Enya music, and all of a sudden she's in her little drive, and the music is almost like a symphony, like she is in a movie. And it's a beautiful day outside, and the bird flies over, and the ducks are over in a pond. And all of a sudden she's noticing things that she wasn't noticing before that music had started. And what we want to say to you, be more present in your day. There's things going on around you all the time that you are not noticing because you are getting into the grind of your day, and you are getting into that rut and that pattern that you get into when you start working or start milling about your day. Consciously take a moment throughout your day, whenever it pops into your mind to do so, stop and pause, or even as you're doing your things, if you're driving, if you're working, whatever it is you're doing, start being more present, be very aware of your surroundings. You're going to find magic in those moments somewhere. And it might come in the oddest and most curious of ways. And so it's going to be our fun challenge to you. We're putting it out there as a fun challenge to find your moments, to pause and be in the sounds that are around you, the movement that's around you, whatever activity or whatever it is going on in your presence while you are in the pause. Find the magic in that. What is happening? How is it making you feel? What is it like to just stop and be aware? What is it like to just pause and listen and be in the moment? How am I feeling? What am I seeing? What are my senses doing? And just pull it all in and create something very, very magical about it. That is going to be a word. You got the guardians of the magic. Tracie does The Magic is Real. We want to be in on the magic too. So this is our magic. This is what we want to bring to you. And so we want to say hello to Jason. How are you?
Good. How about yourself, Daniel? How are you doing?
Well, we're doing fantastic over here. The energies have come in like a beautiful rainstorm of energies coming into your planet. And we've been helping many, many, many people acclimate to these energies and rise in their awarenesses, opening up exponentially. And so it has been a wonderful time for us here as we are seeing some great progress happening as everybody is stepping into what one might say is a new version of self. They're stepping into new awarenesses of self. And it's, as you were talking earlier, it's changing the way that they are responding to things. Like you had your coworkers saying, how do you respond in such a peaceful, calm way? More people are stepping into that frequency. So we say, you're the way shower, you're showing them how to do it. And they're following, they're stepping into that. Many people are moving into a place where they are responding differently than they had in the past, and not as feeling as attached or as persuaded maybe by events and things going on in their life that they had in the past. It is easier for them to recognize the vibrations of that energy and move beyond it. Recognize when it's not sincere. The words might be there, but is the vibration that goes with it sincere? So more people being sensitive to the energy that comes with the interactions of the day. Is the energy a match to the thing that's being said or done? And it is quite an extraordinary time as the empaths are fine-tuning, and everyone is an empath, by the way, so maybe we should word that different. The empath in you is starting to fine-tune how you receive the energy, what's mine, what's theirs, and what's genuine, what's not genuine. When we say you are going into a time where everything will be truth, it is because of the empath and the fine-tuning of the empath. You'll know when someone says something, is the vibration that comes with that, is that a truth, or is that just to pacify me? Is that something that's trying to manipulate me or sway me? And you'll know the energy behind that. You'll know the answer to that. And it's going to help you to figure out how you want to respond and how you want to interact with that person in the future. And so it's fantastic times. Everybody, we invite you, play with all these energies, play with these ideas, these thoughts, these moments. Be in your surrounding, be very conscious of the energy and the vibrations that you're exchanging with others, and see how that plays out for you when you are tapping into that energy. Now, here's the other thing we want you to do. Is we said that we're realizing as you're playing with that, and if you are not, what's the word we want to say? If you're not confident in your skills, we say, be the observer of it for a while. Do not react from yes, no, maybe, I don't know, did I get that energy right? Does that person really mean that? You're overthinking it. When you can relax and just be in the flow of the energy around you, and you get those little nudges, we say, be the observer for a while. Don't be in any kind of reactionary place. Follow your gut with the answers that you want to give, or the relationship exchange you want to do. But practice being in the energy and observing the energy and how you're feeling, and how that plays out for you as you trust it or follow it or don't follow it. So that is what we have coming in for us right now with humanity, with all the fun things that are going on in your energies, and as you are leveling into new levels of who you are.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Is it okay to ask a very open question? Maybe a touchy topic.
A touchy topic, yes. Yes, you are one of the few people we let ask the touchy topics, but yes, you may ask.
All right. So if you don't mind, from your point of view, from how you see things. So right now we got something going on with Russia and Ukraine, and it's getting pretty active over there more and more. Is there anything that you see on your side that you can share with us?
We're looking, we'll see what comes in. There is something there that is being shielded, something there that is being hidden. Undercover is what we see. It's under a cover. It's something you're not able to see. And that's going to get exposed. Something that hasn't been told to you is going to get exposed. And it looks to us like it is going to, what we want to say is the truth will come out. The truth will come out. So everyone as a community, as way showers, as a powerful unit of beings that collect here, we ask you to set the intentions for the truths to come out around Russia and Ukraine and what is really going on here. It's time for people to step up. And there's people that know things that they're not speaking, they're not talking about it. Because of fear, of course, they're afraid of what will happen if they speak up, if they say what they know. But there is something that is being kept undercover, and what they're showing us in the mind's eye, the metaphor, is there's a rooftop and the shingles are being blown off that roof, and now you're going to be able to see what's going on behind the scenes in the skeleton of that house. in the house of the governments, in the house of those elites who are behind the events that are taking place. We always want to stress or reiterate that it is very important to not always believe what you see, right? And that there's more going on behind the scenes. There's so much that you don't know. And of course, they're showing you what you want to see, or what they want you to see. Sorry, that's how we meant to say that, what they want you to see. And so use discernment and use your intuition, what you feel is right and what is not. Some of what you see is correct, but some of what you see is also exaggerated. And some of what you see is, we want to be careful because we don't want anybody, everything is in alignment. Everything is being exactly what it is supposed to be to bring humanity to where it needs to be. And so when you are looking at these things and you are getting emotionally attached to them, and you are looking at the injustices and the lack of integrity in certain areas, and you are viewing this, and you are taking in the information that is given to you, and you are trying to make logical and just decisions and opinions about things, we want you to remember you are not getting all the information. There are things going on behind the scenes. Things are not what they seem. And it's time to call out the truth. And the more people that are putting the energy into calling out the truth, and put it in your energy fields, we want the truth and only the truth. I'm going to naturally and easily know when something is not truthful that is coming in. Now we're seeing somebody behind bars. Somebody's behind bars that shouldn't be behind bars. It's because they know something and they were threatening to use that. So we ask for assistance with those who are in the benevolent vibrations to come forward, and that justice is done and freedom is had by those who are being held captive to restrain the information. I'm not sure what we're saying here. We wanted to say there are strings attached. We keep seeing strings, but now we think they are a marionette, like a puppet master.
I was gonna say like a puppet.
That is what we think we are seeing. It says puppet master. There is a puppet master. Let's all call in that exposure. Let's call it in. We want the truth. It is such an unnecessary thing to put humanity through, and yet at the same time, such a necessary thing. It is time for humanity to start recognizing that things are, they are real, but they also have a little bit of orchestration behind them. What is the real motive for this to be happening? What is the real idea behind the wars and behind these attacks and the things that are happening? And so there's so much more to that. And we know that you would like for us to give you those answers, but we don't necessarily have those answers either. Because the one we speak through keeps her mind away from those things as she is supposed to. So the reference points that we have for that, actually, Jason, you would probably be a better resource to bring forward that information, because we don't have the language that we need to share with you the strategies and the reasoning behind why is all of this happening? What is it doing? What is the strategy here? Think about what is it that when you are watching the news or you are watching these events take place, how is it making you feel? What is it making you want to do? And what is your government asking of you, and what's happening in your environment? Gas prices, food prices, the cost of traveling, the cost of living, all of it is going up, 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 up. It's getting out of your control. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that it is getting to a point where you cannot afford to live? And it doesn't seem to be getting any better, does it? And so when are you going to realize where you are participating in this thing that is not so just? It is time to make the changes, and you are being pushed in the corner to do that. So what's going to happen when you can no longer afford your mortgage, you can no longer afford to feed your family, you can no longer afford to drive your car? Who's going to take over then? Those are just questions to ponder. You don't need to answer them, but think about it. You live in a world that has all the resources to feed every single person on the planet, to food, clothing, all the necessities for every single person on the planet. And yet you are told that there is nothing. You're told that there's scarcity. You're told there's not enough. Why? Why are you told those things? So it is time for you to have a mind of your own in this situation, make your own deductions. Why is this going on? Maybe you get online and you go down your own rabbit holes with this, because each and every one of you is going to look at this in the way that fits for you. And we're not here to influence. We're not here to persuade anyone in any way. Everything is exactly as it needs to be in order to move you and all of humanity into something different. And we don't want to say something better, something worse, something this, something that. It is something different, and you are all going in that direction. So what would you like to create for different? What is it that you would like to see happen for your future? As you are a co-creator in this reality, how would you like that to play out? And so we ask you, Jason, do we answer that enough for you, or do you have more questions?
Yes, that was pretty interesting stuff. At first, I thought you was going to give us some more juicy details, but if we can circle back just a little bit, is there any kind of like guided meditation to help us get through what's going on in the area of the Russian Ukraine area? And is there anything you mentioned, like there's a lot of things going on behind the scene, things are being covered up, and for the truth, is there any prayer or guided meditation to help guide someone to say something to reveal all that?
Absolutely. We can do that with you right now if you like.
Sure.
So as everyone, we get the tinglies. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we did have a question earlier. As we say in these moments, we say we can feel all of you. Doesn't matter when you're tuning in. It could be 3 years from now. It could be right now in this moment, as Jason releases this video. It does not matter when you tune in. We feel your presence. And somebody asks us, how does that work? And it is because all time is now. You have already listened to this. This has already been done. As soon as you clicked play, you are putting this intention into the circle that we are here and unified in right now. So as we gather everyone, there's those of you that are listening in the future that already know the answer to this. You already saw the end of this come to play out. And so this is so fascinating and so fun to work with these energies that are not just here in the present, but also in the future. And we call in the multidimensional collectives as well that are watching it from different dimensions, different realities, from their ships, from their different dimensions that they coexist in as part of you, as your vibration, your frequency, your councils, your team, your angels, your guides, your benevolent loved ones, all the beautiful things. And we call them all in. We stand, imagine in your mind a ginormous circle of like-minded people coming together right now. Everyone is holding hands. Everyone is bringing in their energy in unison into this planet. And we call on all of those who are here with us right now. We call you in. We call in the benevolent beings, those who watch over us, those who created this reality, this world, this beautiful place. We call in the universal source energy. We call in the vibrations of all things in truth and justice and fairness. We call in that those who are not acting in their highest integrity will be exposed. Now we are calling that in worldwide. So we are calling that in for all humanity. We're calling it in the highest and best good. We're calling it in for everyone to join in this beautiful space, to bring in this beautiful energy of a new world. A world of kindness, a world of truth, a world of justice, a world of fairness, a world of love and compassion and joy. And we call it in for each and every individual as we are emerging out of deception. We are emerging out of destruction. We're seeing everyone in our political systems, in our governments, and the leaderships of this world. We're calling it in through all the leaderships of the world. We're calling it in your government leaderships. We're calling it in your religious leaderships. We're calling it in your medical leaderships. We're calling it in all the different arenas of your world that are necessary for you to survive. We're calling in that the truths will come out. All the truths will come out. Justice will be had. Fairness will be gained. Humanity will regain its stance in this world. People will be able to live their lives in joy, and they will go to work every day, but they will not be there so long that they forget how to live. And we know that there is a participation that needs to be had here in order for survival to happen. There needs to be jobs, there needs to be this exchange of energy with the planet. And so we call it in that it's more balanced, that these people that are living here are not enslaved in a system that is causing them to have to work 2 and 3 jobs just to pay the rent on a home that they can't even be in because they're always at work, right? And so we call in fairness and justice. We call in equality. We call in all mouths are fed. We call it in that everyone has clean food and water, that they have nutritious and valuable food and water, that they are healing in their bodies and their minds and their souls, that they are letting go of the old constructs, the old matrix, the old paradigms, the old teachings, and allowing for something new to evolve and be created in a place of justice and truth, and to be in a place of fairness throughout, that the whole world unites in this way. We call it in, we call in that those who are not being just and kind, those who are being in the elite and following their sense of greed and control and malevolent behaviors are being exposed now, and they are being pulled out of those leadership positions. They are taken out of those places because it's time for the people now. It's time for everyone to embrace a new way of living. It's time to put people into place that are there for humanity and for the earth and for the water and for everything to go back into a beautiful place of serendipity, beauty, synchronicities, love, compassion, kindness, all the good things. We call it in, see it in your mind right now, a beautiful place to live, a place where you feel comfortable and safe, a place where you feel confident and loved and encouraged and supported. Call in your support, your love. You live in a world that supports you. You live in a universe that supports you. Let it support you in this way. Call it in, own it, put it in your vibrations. Let it be known to the universe that you believe in this reality and that you are the creator of this reality. And so it is, and so it is happening. And you are an energetic match to be a part of a community that is so beautiful and kind and loving and compassionate, that you are living in your dream life right here on this planet. Everything is shifting. All the things are shifting. The exposure is happening. The good, we don't even want to do that. Those who are within integrity, those who are practicing kindness to humanity, that are in a position to expose those who are not, are now exposing them. And they are protected and they are safe, and they are knowingly doing this with protection, with safety, and knowing that they're going to be okay and their families are going to be okay. And we call that in for all of them, that they are protected, they are safe, and it is safe for them to come forward. It is safe for them to be in the truth and to use their voice and to advocate for humanity and planetary. And so it is.
Wow, thank you very much.
We want to thank everyone's energy for being there. It got so big and so powerful. We could have kept going as we just kept seeing it evolve in our mind. We were watching the beautiful lights around the world coming on, and people demanding that truths are coming in. People are putting their foot down and saying, no more of this charade, no more of this manipulation, no more of this control, and the elite pushing out all the little people out of their ownerships of what it is, their claims on this world, right? Making things so expensive that people can't afford to even live in their own homes. It is a ridiculous thing that is being allowed to happen at this time. And it takes humanity pushing back and saying, no more of this. Do not give the bank your power. Do not give the government your power. Do not give these systems your power. And It's time to take your life back and take control. And as a collective, you're going to do it like magic. See, we like that word. We're going to use it today. What else can we talk about with you today, Jason?
Before I ask this next question, it sounds like this whole situation that's happening over there with Ukraine and Russia is bigger than what we think, from what it sounds like, even from your point of view. So the next question would be, you mentioned somebody's behind bars. Are you able to tell us who this individual is? Is this like a type secret agent, or is there someone that political?
We know that it is a masculine energy. We're seeing like a sandy blonde hair. We don't know a name, but it does feel like a government official. It feels like somebody that knows something, somebody that stumbled across some information that maybe they weren't supposed to see, or that their conscience finally caught up to them, something of that nature. But they're being held restricted from any contact so that they cannot expose this information that they know.
Almost like a political type prisoner.
Yes.
Gotcha.
They're not in a dungeon. They seem to be in a very nice facility, but they're not allowed to leave this place.
Gotcha. Well, I guess time will tell, see who this individual is, if we're allowed to know.
Exactly. We think that you'll know eventually. You'll know.
Perfect. Was there anything that Tracie wanted to explore today? Was there any questions that she had for today? Trying to mix it up a little bit.
We're scanning her mind. She's just.
Let me know how that goes.
Yes, she's just like, what? I don't remember. What was the question? No, we're just teasing her. But she does want to touch back on one of the things that came out over this last week is we talk often of the children of the sun. The children of the sun coming into the portals, through the portals of the sun, from other galaxies, from other universes, and they're coming here to have an experience on Earth. And she says, I had it all wrong. I thought that we were preparing the Earth for these children of the sun to come in and help us change the planet into the fifth dimensional Earth. But what is happening is the way showers, the light workers are here to raise the vibration of the planet. So that, and we're hoping we will translate this correctly, so that these beings from other dimensions, other universes can move through these portals and actually come to visit. They're coming to visit the planet, to have a planetary experience. And in doing that, they will help raise the vibration of the planet, but that wasn't the intention. The intention was to open this planetary system up for new beings that have never lived on a planet like this to be able to come in and have an experience. And in them doing that, the vibration that they bring is going to help raise the planet. Did that make sense? So these children that are coming in, everyone that is a way shower or light worker has been working on this planet, and you have reached this point in the planet where the vibration is now a match to where these other beings can come in and visit. And with them coming in to visit, there is a beneficial thing going each way. They get to have an experience being in a physical body and being in an Earth-like atmosphere. And Earth gets the benefit of their high vibration coming into the planet, which is helping Earth to move and evolve into higher vibrations. So hopefully we were able to translate that correctly. But that has been a discovery. She always thought that they were coming in deliberately just to help, but it is not so intentional like that, it is a win-win. They get something, we get something, right? And so it is a miraculous and wonderful thing to look at this world. And it is funny in the sense that when you go through life, you are thinking, oh, okay, I need to do this because this is going to help me, that's going to help me, that's going to help me. And it's about you, it's about you, it's about you, or your family, or your little map of the world, right? And we forget to think bigger sometimes. We forget to take it into the next level of things. What is this doing for everyone? What is this doing for the planet? What is this doing for expansion? What is this doing for other beings? It's kind of like doing the foreign exchange student, where they get to come into a country that they haven't lived in and have a new experience and see how other cultures live and how other things are happening. Now open that up galactically, and you are now opening up your planet. You can now hold and sustain beings from other dimensions that vibrate at different frequencies. You have now set the earth to a frequency where they can come in and visit now, which benefits culturally. It's going to benefit in your reality. So you have to keep in mind that when you come into a human life, what feels like 80, 90, 100 years to you, in other realities, other dimensions, it could be an hour or two later over there, or the equivalent of what feels like an hour or two later, but you've lived an entire lifetime in this reality. And so you've been shown this concept in movies and different reality type programs like that. And so when we say they're coming in through these portals to have an experience, for them, a whole lifetime, when they go back to their home, may seem like an afternoon. They came and spent the afternoon and vacationed on Earth for a lifetime, but in their reality, it was an afternoon. So there are so many fascinating and cool things that are going on to put your focus on as well. If you're getting weighed down by these other things going on around our globe, and maybe that concept is even hard for you to understand, how is it that we have created a reality where these dimensional beings can come and visit us when we've got wars going on and we've got all this conflict going on? But you have to remember, you are already floating between a third dimension and a fifth dimension. They are not coming into the third dimensional reality. They're coming into the fifth dimension that has been held and sustained by a collective that's been able to hold and sustain it. And so they're not so much affected by that third dimensional reality of the chaos, the wars, the greed, the collapses of constructs, and all of the things that are going on. The people that are benefiting from that, the people that are shifting and changing and growing and finding what they need to find, are the ones that are finding that experience. And when they are ready to transition from what they learned there out of that energy, then in their reality, those wars will come to an end, those things will come to a close, and they will shift into something better. And believe me, then there will be a war or something that's going on for the next guy that needs to learn those lessons and move themselves out of that energy. It all serves a purpose. It's all there for growth. It's all there for reflection. It's all there for humanity to grow and the individual to grow. And we'll say it again, your job right now is to fall in love with yourself, to go find your joy, to go find your bliss, and to keep your mind on the things that are creating a reality for you that is holding and sustaining that higher vibration, so that you can have these other experiences. Because there are many experiences that you can partake in on your earth. You can spend time looking at the collapse of things, and maybe that is where you are meant to be and you are being called to be there. And that's part of the purpose of why you came into this planet. We are not saying this is good, bad, or indifferent, but then don't worry about the people who are over here trying to create the unicorn reality as well, right? The magic and all the different things that they're trying to do to create their fifth dimensional reality. Everyone is at a different place with that. And so we ask for all the judgments to be released on that. If somebody is not following your passion, that's okay. If you're not following their passion, that's okay. Everybody gets to have their own little plot in life right now, where they are learning and growing and creating. Whatever is happening in your reality, it is a reflection of where you are. It is a reflection of what parts of it do you not like? What parts of it do you like? What are you getting passionate about? What are you getting excited about? And what are you dreading and feeling worried and scared and anxious about? And start looking at that, and what kind of changes can you make to assist you in those ways, and make those changes. Maybe you feel like you need to put a foot down. Maybe you need to vote a certain way. Maybe you need to make yourself known in bigger ways on platforms. Whatever it is, you have your own guidance and your own purpose and your own drive for a reason, because you came here for an experience. And there's so many of you that have similar experiences or similar drives, but you do it in different ways, and that's okay. And so as the collective is holding and sustaining and bringing in these new energies, bringing in these new high vibrational children, as one might say, the children of the sun, through the portals, through the different dimensions, through time and space, these energies, these beautiful soul beings are coming in to have a human experience because they're curious about it. They want to know, what is it like to live on this world? And so you're going to find that a lot of the youth of this planet at this time may seem, for those of you who are old souls to this planet, you were part of the creation of this planet, you've been here many times, you've been through the cycles of reincarnation many times, you have done a lot of work here. You're going to find that there's going to be a lot of new energy, a lot of, you'll look into the eyes of the children and even some of the adults, and you'll say, you haven't been here before. This place is new to you. And it'll be fun for you maybe to look through their eyes, to see the earth again through their eyes, because when you've been here so many times and you feel like you've been battling after battle after battle, you may start to forget that you live in a beautiful, beautiful world. And to look at it again through a child's eyes or through new energy that hasn't been here before. And they are excited to be here and they can't wait to touch something and experience something, things that you take for granted every day, to be able to taste food, to be able to smell, to be able to move your body, to be able to pick things up, to be able to go on a boat in the water, to be able to go on an airplane, to be able to feel, see, sense in so many ways. Start to appreciate and step into what it is to be a human being. And you'll start to understand that when you come from a space where you are an energy body, this provides you with so many experiences. And when you can get into the joy and the bliss of those experiences, like right now, if you were to just close your eyes and listen to the sound of our voice, you can hear many different tones and pitches, and the ability to create sound from your mouth, to be able to create sound from your body instead of just communicating telepathically, to be able to sing, to be able to hear, to be able to sense, touch, taste, smell, all the fun things. Imagine a life without all of that, and then you'll start to appreciate the life that you have with. And so with that, what we do see a lot of people in their pondering minds now. You live in an extraordinary time. You live on an extraordinary planet. And when you start believing that, you start understanding that you are fully supported, and then you start understanding that you are completely worthy of that support. You are worthy of flows, cash flows of money coming in to fill your bank accounts. You are worthy of the job that you want, the success that you want, the healing that you want, the love that you want in your life. You are worthy of it all. And as you embrace it, as you see it from a bigger perspective, as you see this universe wrapping itself around you and saying, tell me your wishes, I want to bring them all to you. And you become the energetic match to that desire. And you start to notice it plopping down in front of you, popping down in front of you. Tracie has noticed that she has done things where she will think about something, go, oh, I need to remember to do that. And then the next thing she knows, it's happened. Somebody's done it. She was thinking to herself, I need to figure out some good hotels or some places maybe that people could say if they decided to come do the workshop, the in-person workshop, and maybe if they're traveling, they're going to need a hotel. I need to remember to ask somebody about that. And then all of a sudden, somebody that lived in the area saw that she was doing doing the event, and emailed her and said, hey, I see you're doing an event. If you have any out-of-town travelers, this would be an excellent hotel for them. That is how fast manifestation is happening. And we want to thank Shelley for doing that. By the way, if she is listening, she deserves a shout out because she is very in tune, very tapped in. And she picked that up and she got a nudge to do it, and she followed through and she did it. And it was so helpful. And it was a very profound experience to have a thought and a need, and have that thought and need almost instantly be resolved through an email about an hour later. And what an incredible world we live in when those types of things can happen, when you start embracing the beautiful energy around you and you start absorbing and taking it all in and expressing yourself in much different ways of gratitude, even for the things that feel like they're not working. Thank you for this thing that is not working in my life, because it is showing me where I am in my healing. It is showing me what I need to heal. It is showing me parts of myself I do or don't like. This event in my life is showing me how my behavior is affecting others, how I can change what I'm doing to create more of the lifestyle that I desire, and what part am I playing in this role of my life and my reality. It is a fascinating thing, this world. That's where we will go with that. And we think that that is about all we want to cover on that part. Did you have questions?
No, you actually answered my question when you mentioned the sun children and then the light beings coming in, the new souls coming in. And I was going to ask, what is the purpose of it? But you already answered that. Thank you very much. So the next fun question would be, if we can, and I was thinking about it, how would I word this? And the best way I can word it is, so I went to the Secret Space Conference that was up in St. Louis, or I should say Grafton, Illinois. Was there anything special on your side you could see of the conference? Was there any hidden meanings or hidden messages for us to be aware of?
Well, one of the things that we are seeing right now is the collective of people that were there. Everyone seems to carry a common frequency. Everyone seems to carry a certain code. So we're asking, because we know your question will be, what is that code? What does that mean? So we're asking, why are you showing us the code?
Is it a matrix code?
Well, isn't everything a matrix code? But
yes.
We are looking at this more like it is a signature or collective of beings that maybe have come from the same star system. Now, we're not saying that you are all from the same collectives. In other words, you're not all Syrian or you're not all Arcturian. You are from the same star system. There is a collective of different varieties of beings, but we feel like you all have come to, this is how we see it, Jason, you all came to exchange information, not just verbally to each other, but you've all been all around the world, right? Everybody's coming from a different place, from wherever, and gathering different parts of knowledge and different pieces. And you all came together in what do you call it, the expo or the conference. And as you are all there in the same space, imagine being in a bubble, a gigantic bubble where everyone is releasing their information, everything they know into that bubble. And now all of you have access to that information. That gives us chills. You all have access to that information. So tap into that resource. So everything that you've done is now benefiting everybody that was there, and everything that they have done is now benefiting you. And so if you think about the speakers that you had and the intelligent beings that were there with you, and even just the conversations with these people who are in this expansive mindset, how much information could possibly be put into this bubble of frequencies that you are all sharing now. So we do see that as one of the things. We want to look at you in particular. We're almost seeing something mechanical, like a robot around you. And we're trying to understand, what are they showing? What are they showing? And So we think we understand what's happening. Is Tracie did watch a movie last night where there was a robot and they were trying to transfer consciousness into the robot, right? And so what they are showing is that transfer of information. Not that you're doing that with a robot, but that the concept of that movie, which is what it made us think of, is that transfer of consciousness, transferring the knowledge, just as we said. You were one of many people that we want to say maybe created or helped to influence how this can happen, how you can gather everyone. So in another reality, Jason, you may have been very involved with the thoughts and ideas behind this conference being created, the people that were asked to be there, the ones that showed up, the people that felt the pull and the drive to attend. And in an alternate reality, you were an influencer of this energy. The tingling, you want to know about that, don't you? The tingling from the airplane that was going into the forehead.
Sure, that was part of our conversation.
Mm-hmm. I see. So they're saying that once you were entering the bubble, even though that airport was not in the location of where the conference was, how does one want to say this?
I think I know what you're trying to say.
The moment that you were, one of the things that Tracie was told before when she said, hey, you said this thing was going to happen. Is that still going to happen? And they said, as long as you get on the airplane, it's going to happen. And so we say that to you, when you got on the airplane, everything that you had set up to do and everything that happened, everything that went on in that event, you were going to be a part of that as long as you got on that airplane. So you get on the airplane when you, did this happen when you were landing? Is that correct?
Yes.
So as you're landing from that airplane, you were already integrating energy that had not happened in your conscious life yet. It was, you were actually pulling in the information from that collective bubble. As you were landing, it was already being downloaded and integrated for you. It was already happening because you had already had the experience. We don't know how else to explain it to you. That is a convoluted statement, but it had already happened because you got on the airplane. So when you landed, it got downloaded in that moment, even though you had not had the experiences yet.
Right. And I think another way maybe to put it in our terms is that maybe it happened when the plane landed. I had that feeling that that situation happened for me to think that, oh, that had something to do with the airplane. Not like when I get closer to the event, the conference, then have it be like, oh, what's going on with this conference? And it, I guess, in a way for me to be prepared for the new types of energy and for me to think that that was from the airplane.
Are you asking if it happened on the airplane so you wouldn't relate it to the event?
Yeah. Is that kind of like what was going on?
We're going to say that. Yes, yes. It happened on the airplane, so you would be curious about it so that you would ask the question, so that you would get the deeper definition of what was happening. Because you're right, if it would have happened when you got closer to the event, you would have chalked it up for the energy of the event. You wouldn't have dived into it any deeper. And so for it happening on the airplane, it made you curious. Why did that happen? Why did I feel that way when the plane was landing? That hasn't happened before, and I've flown a lot. And why is that happening? It did cause you to ask more questions and to be more curious than if it would have happened at the event.
Perfect.
Is that what you are asking?
Yes. So it sounded like that situation that happened had a higher purpose as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you were just to pause, and if any of your listeners were at that event as well, we just want you all to pause and think about it. Close your eyes, rise above the event, look at the colors, look at the matrix of it. Have have your higher selves, have your benevolent counterparts help you break it down and see it in its signature version, see it in its matrix version, see it in its hologram, see the colors, see the vibrations that were coming from the people that were buzzing and talking and sharing and getting passionate and excited and moved by these speeches and enlightened and sharing. There's so much that was going on, and so much, and the location was, it feels to us like it was on a pressure point or a vortex, if you will.
Yes, it was a beautiful location.
Yes, beautiful location, but very impactful energetically as well. And you guys left what was already a vortex is now an even bigger vortex. And anyone who moves through that energy will have the benefit of the beautiful intentions that were left with it. And so, yes, beautiful. We are seeing ancient symbols in our mind. It feels kind of like something maybe even from old Ireland. The energies, there's a lot of energies, a lot of lifetimes of accumulated information came together in this spot. And they're saying the secret gateways to Ireland are opening up. That's interesting.
I don't know who had a hand in that.
Well, you all did. You probably all had lifetimes there. The secret gateways to Ireland. We want to ask more, please. Can you tell us more about that? Okay. There are many sacred sites in Ireland, many portals. We're seeing many portals, and the gateway to these energies is starting to open up now. And Tracie has talked about the crystal cities that are placed all around the planet. She talks a lot about the one that sits over Florida and Georgia into the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf, and some of the surrounding areas. It's a ginormous amount of energy going on right now. And a big reason why a lot of people are being drawn there right now. They are meant to go there and participate in the awakening of the crystal city. It is not made of crystal. It is the energy that it is vibrating at, the crystal energy. Now, the gates to Ireland opening up is something similar. You're opening up ancient civilizations that your history doesn't even know about. Vibrations from ancient history, ancient civilizations that were wonderful, that were home of the gods, they say, home of the gods. So high vibrational beings would make their homes here. And that was in the earlier days of the Earth evolving and becoming a planetary system. As soon as it was livable, the gods saw it as a sanctuary and wanted to spend time there. And so there is some ancient information. So don't be surprised if you start seeing more discoveries in Ireland, more people coming forward and saying, oh, they found an ancient this or a scroll or a writing, a certain kind of writing, ancient writing, any of that kind of stuff. It feels like there's going to be more of your true history coming to light. And whatever was happening there in your collective, it feels like it is a gateway or a doorway or a portal that was opened into some more truth, into some more of the ancient history of your planet. So that could be fun as that evolves and people start coming forward with memories of living in ancient Ireland and what may have been coming of those times.
Interesting. So what you're trying to say is me and Tracie has to go to Ireland and have a conference?
Oh, she gets chills. She says, I'm on board. Let's go. That is one of her bucket lists.
Do we have to go over there to open up some portals?
Well, we think the portals might already be open, but you could walk through them and see where it takes you. Wouldn't it be amazing? Oh, wow. To walk through these portals and enter into a civilization that is existing in a dimension that is just a frequency away for you to just tap into it and walk in through the portal and enter into another world, another time that is existing in that place on your earth in another dimension. And it is funny because we said that now Tracie is wandering through this ancient looking city, and it's quite extraordinary. Anyway, she is in her mind going, no, keep going. I want to play here. But yes, that could be fun. That could be fun. She's always had a liking for Ireland. And one day, she says, one day I'll be there. She's got a lot of travel plans. So what were you saying? Where's that donation box, right? To get Tracie off to travel. That's what she's like.
The travel fund.
The GoFundMe travel, get Tracie and Jason traveling, GoFundMe. But wouldn't that be an amazing adventure to go into Ireland? And we're going to go even one more to be united with somebody in Ireland that knows a lot of history, a lot of the old history of Ireland, that could show you around to some ancient sites so that you could get the real feel for the energy that we speak of. So why not let's manifest that? That would be amazing. So that is a fun journey. We're sure more to come on that, right? But right now it feels like Tracie's body is getting a little tired. And so we do want to ask, is there any more questions before she comes back into the body?
Okay, well, we can wrap it up, or if there's any other messages for the group collective.
Oh, we do like to do that, don't we? Let's get into the energy of these fantastic people, these beautiful high vibrational beings that are here as a collective watching. There are a lot of you that, as we talk of ancient times, we awoken something in you with those words when we talked about the ancient times. And there's a lot of you here from Egypt right now. A lot of you have had lifetimes in Egypt. There are some of you that are listening that have served the Pharaoh and high priestess, or you've been in the temples. You are the keepers of the temples, maybe is a good way to put it. You were a very valuable resource for the pharaohs and the different goddess energies that have been through there. That is interesting. So if that resonates for you, if you feel like you've had lifetimes in Egypt, we do see you as being not a servant. That's not what we want to say. You're more than that. You are a keeper of the temple. You are the one that would, how do we want to say this? Oil the feet, or your job was very important to anoint. That's the word, anoint the high priests and pharaohs and those who held high stature. And your role was very important. And so if you feel like you are very connected to the temples and pyramids of Egypt, that is why. Bird tribe. We have a lot of bird tribe people listening. We got a lot of people that are very connected to the avians, to these eagle tribes. There's so many different bird tribes, as there are so many different birds. There are many different collectives that are coming together. There is a crane tribe. A crane tribe is, if you're always seeing the cranes, like the herring and those type of birds, there could be a chance that you are connected to those energies, those tribes. Very fun energy. Now remember, you have been a lot of things. You haven't just been the one thing. But if this resonates with you, don't let it take away if you also feel connected to Palladians and you feel connected to Nordics and all of the other things, because you have been many, many things. But right now you are resonating with a frequency of the bird tribes and bringing in that energy. And what that does is it helps you to rise up and see things from a new perspective, get a different view, get a more spiritual view and take on things. So what we ask you to do is, if you are resonating with that, go into your meditation, lift yourself up into above the planet, lift yourself up into the galaxies, if you will, and look back at yourself from a new perspective, and look at your life and the things that you're going through, the things that you are playing out, and get a new perspective on them. Again, we ask you, are you responding from a place of love or from any other place than love, a place of fear? And so it is important to look at the role that you're playing, the things that you are doing in your life. And so for everyone, tap into that avian, go up into a higher perspective, look at the bigger picture. You're going to see a bigger picture, and you're going to get out of your head of your own little world for a moment, and you're going to see it from a bigger perspective. Now, we just had the cat meow at us, which means we want to go to the Lyran councils. We want to
Can't forget those guys, right?
That's right. And they like to come visit. They like to be, they're very much connected in so many ways in Tracie's household. And so it is fun when they come and make their presence known. And as we're sitting here right now petting the cat, it is rubbing up on our hand. And as we are tapping into that energy, it is reminding us to tell each and every one of you, be loving, be kind. You are all going through so many changes right now. Your DNA, your cells, your vibrations, the things that you think about, everything is starting to change. And it's been changing. We shouldn't say starting to change. It's been changing. The frequencies, the Schumann resonance, the solar flares, the eclipses, it is all bringing in vibrational changes for you to acclimate to. And it's going to hit you where you're at. It's going to meet you where you're at and bring you to the next thing. So the cat is reminding us here, be kind, be loving, be in the moment, share in the moment, feel the feelings. It's not always easy. We understand it's not always easy. You are going through some tumultuous life lessons in this planet at times. And we know that you can't always stay in that neutrality, stay in that high vibrational place of peace. Now, we don't want you to think that you are leaving the high vibration if you are feeling sadness or grief or mourning or any of the things that might bring you into a heavier, denser energy, because you can be sad and still be in the fifth dimension. What you can't be is angry, mad, spiteful, and those kinds of energies will take you back into the third dimension. Sadness does not do that. Sadness is a level of love that is expressed through the energy of sadness. It does not necessarily take you out of the fifth dimension. However, it is a lower frequency of that fifth dimension until you can get back up into the new one. But it is an expression of love when you are grieving and you are sad. Okay, so as we're looking at all of that, be kind, be kind to not just yourself, be kind to those around you. It is a good reminder. It's always a good reminder. We know we say this to you before in other videos, but you have to remember that everyone is going through the Mercury retrograde. Everybody is going through the solar flares and the changes and the shifts. Everyone is having these experiences. And so the irritability for those who don't understand what's going on is going to be higher than it is for those who do understand what's going on. So as you are understanding it and you are knowing that there is a great influence of a new moon, especially or a full moon, and the eclipses and how that affects you in the astrological realms of things, and that these shifts and changes that are coming in, you are a physical being going through an emotional roller coaster with that stuff. And so, of course, but the knowledge that you have that is happening will help you to cope. Those who don't know what's going on, they don't have that tool to help them cope with it. And so you might see a lot of people really perpetuating themselves into suffering, into their baggage coming up for them, and feeling like they are going through their dark nights of the soul. And how many people do you know that say it was my dark night of the soul that got me on my spiritual path? And so we say to you, trust it and allow them to have their experience so that they can get onto their spiritual path. You can be there as guidance, you can be there as wisdom, but we want to remind everyone, please don't fix it for them. Allow them the journey so that they can get to their spiritual awakening. And with that, we do want to wrap this up. We hope everybody is having a fantastic week ahead, and that we want to thank you for letting us be a part of your experience as you watch this video. And we thank you for being a part of our experience as we can feel that energy, that love, and that embrace from you. And we thank you for that. And we want to thank you, Jason, for creating the platform for us to share and to give messages and interact with all of you in this way. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel.